Welcome back to the program. Well, my next guest is a military woman. She has made her country proud. She's tracked militia leaders in the Solomons and boarded smuggler ships in the Arabian Gulf. Matina Jewell has 8 war medals to her name, serving in the Australian Army. And as a woman, though, in the military world, she, quote, got caught in the crossfire. Matina Jewell joins me. Good morning, Maddie.
Thank you very much, Kerri-Anne.
You've been a very dedicated, well-trained, hard-working female soldier. Your toughest deployment, you say, was in the Middle East in the peacekeeping forces. What happened?
Well, this was my 5th overseas mission, but it was my first one where I was an unarmed UN observer, and our mission was to basically observe and monitor a peace agreement between the warring countries over there, so between Israel, Lebanon, Syria and Egypt. So
what happened? You were injured. How seriously?
So 12th of July 2006, a war started with the Hezbollah ambushing an Israeli Humvee patrol, and full-scale war started happening right around us, and we're literally on the border between Israel and Lebanon. So there was large explosions, bombs raining down around us. At the end of the first week of the war, we did a team rotation, and during that rotation I came off and an Austrian teammate replaced me on the patrol base. And during that rotation, unfortunately, I was thrown into the bulletproof windscreen of my armoured vehicle and sustained 5 damaged vertebrae.
5 damaged vertebrae and a lot of other injuries.
That's right.
Also, in that deployment, you speak several languages, including Arabic, which literally saved your life.
Yes, I was very fortunate during my military training to actually have learnt to speak Arabic before I deployed on this particular mission. And you're right, those skills actually literally helped me get that convoy safely from Patrol Base Kerri-Anne into town because all the road networks had been bombed around us, and so the road network I was supposed to have taken was impassable, and with the mine threat you can't go off-road.
Of course, but this is all your training. You've done all the stuff everybody does, abseiling out of choppers. You've done the serious hard yakka, but when you come home with 5 crushed vertebrae, a lot of other injuries, what happened?
This is where some of the procedures fell down. I feel that the policies that it's between the Department of Defence and Department of Veterans Affairs, and unfortunately there is a gap there between those 2 government departments. Okay, you're really not well. I mean, you've been in hospital. This is a serious situation. Why weren't you just automatically, in terms of your physical ailments, looked after under the Army supervision? So the Defence Force looked after my injuries, but once they determined that those injuries were going to prevent me from continuing my service in the military, then I was transferred under the Department of Veterans Affairs. But those injuries that I'd sustained on the battlefield weren't necessarily going to be covered under the Department of Veterans Affairs, and this is what I've been pushing.
Out there by yourself?
Yes, I found in my experience that I then had to hire a lawyer and push very hard to actually get that health cover that I needed and that I will continue to need for the rest of my life.
So, I mean, you went through Duntroon. We've seen so many stories recently about what has been going on for Duntroon. A woman raped, allegedly raped, and said she was just told to suck it up, let alone what happened to the guys. You went through Duntroon. What is the culture in there like?
I think both the Australian Defence Force Academy and Duntroon, where I've gone through both those institutions, it's a tough, challenging environment, and so it should be, because really at the end of the day we're asking young people to go and lead troops into battle. There was some issues when I was a cadet, and now this was back 15 years ago, and there was an investigation that went in, an inquiry that went in after I was there. So there were some issues, but from my experience, they were individuals and not an overall culture of those institutions. But all up,
you literally went to war with the various bureaucratic departments, and you've done well. But I mean, it cost you emotionally a lot. After all that, so winning 8 medals, being in the Army, being a career military person, you can't follow that career anymore, and being severely injured, which will take you through to the rest of your life. Are you sorry you ever joined the Australian Army?
No, Kerri-Anne. Actually, I look back at my 15 years and look, I had a very blessed career. I had amazing opportunities and experiences that literally I don't think I would have got in any other career path but the military. And the things that I think need to be fixed is not the Defence Force, but this process, the gap between Defence and Veterans Affairs, so that we look after our people that serve this country with a great deal of honour. As
we should. Well, caught in the crossfire, an extraordinary read, and Matina Jewell, thank you very much, Tom, for your time, and thank you for serving this country so well.
Thank you so much for having me, Kerri-Anne.
Good morning. Okay, we move on, and we're looking at tech stuff this morning. Just forget the days where older people looked on in awe as their grandchildren raced from Facebook to Twitter and flicked off their